This whole journey, your life took a dramatic turn when you were actually misdiagnosed. Your health was misdiagnosed. What kind of bearing it had, in your life?
That is true. I think one of the things that I was doing, that in the process of proving that I am capable of doing things to the other people. So what am I doing really? I was actually living for other people. And I was not living for myself. And therefore, I was actually not caring for the sentiments of other people. Only thing I looked at was how can I really grow up in this career, in this corporate ladder? How can I actually achieve things, whether it was like, getting a new position or leadership positions or getting more salary and buying a new car or buying a new house. And those were the things that I had in my mind. In that process, what happened was that there was a lot of anxiety and stress because I'm constantly proving to the other person. And that put a lot of toll on me. And I think that probably was the reason I fell ill. And I was taken to the hospital, and initially they said it was cancer. This was way back in 2000 when I was working for a biotechnology company in Perth, in Australia. And so my children were quite young at that time, and so I thought that I was invincible when suddenly this thing, the announcement from the doctor saying like, you've got cancer and that you can probably, you live for maybe 2-3 years, I don't know. And that was actually true, that the doctor said that we can't tell you how long, but this is going to happen. And subsequently there was a lot of stress about why did this happen to me and how could this happen to me. I was invincible and I was doing so many things. My children are young, and those kind of thoughts came into my mind. And I went through a lot of struggle, a lot of suffering. And I guess in that suffering or during that suffering, I guess, the facade that I put on became visible. And that probably was a blessing in disguise, in hindsight.
Yeah.
But during that process, I didn't know what was happening. I was miserable. I was suffering. And I was going through a lot of anxiety and stress as to not knowing what my future is going to be. And death was staring at me until about few weeks later, we actually found out that it was not cancer, it was tuberculosis, which they were not able to diagnose in Perth because they didn't have enough cases during that time. And this was diagnosed back in Kerala because they had enough knowledge of tuberculosis. And so then we sent those reports back to the doctors in Perth, and they later on found out that it was tuberculosis, and then we did the treatment for that. And that gave a new shift in my whole life. And that was a pivotal moment for me. And I found an opening where these anxieties and sufferings, which were mind conceived and part of my conditioned behavior, which I call the intellect, became visible. And from then onwards, I wanted to find out what is the root cause of these conditioned behavior. And that was what intrigued me. And I started rediscovering that not from the perspective of other people, but from my own. And I think that's probably what they call the inner journey. So therefore, I looked at my own conditioned behaviors, moment to moment, and started to observe what was happening in me. And therefore, this was a constant practice from the moment I kind of became aware of the conditioned behavior. Again, due to that suffering that I went through way back in Perth, and that gave me a new chance for self-discovery,
Okay. Okay.
and it was a blessing in disguise.